All right. Steve Pappas coming down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exactly 9 o'clock. Right on.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, except
I'm sorry, 10 o'clock.
you're in Chicago. Yeah,
Well, no,
you're,
10 o'clock.
You're
10 o'clock.
absolutely right.
Well,
but we're
normally
not in
we try to
Chicago.
sneak-
We're in downtown Barre, Vermont, where it is currently snowing lightly.
Yeah.
And 19 degrees.
Yeah.
I made
How
that
do you
up.
know these?
I just made that
Well,
up.
21, you're not that far off. 21 degrees.
Well, you didn't have a cup of coffee for me, so I had to toddle down the street and get some, and I froze my little tuchus off, and that only happens when it's about 19 or 21 degrees.
Give a plug for whoever gave you the coffee.
Espresso Bueno.
Is that where you go?
Well, that's where I went today.
That's good stuff. Supercharged.
Yeah,
It is-
much like yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome, Mr. Pappas. It is beginning to look a
don't-
lot like Christmas.
Yeah.
Why can't I say that?
Humbug.
Yeah, are you a little humbuggy? There's a few people out there that are having a difficult time getting into the Christmas spirit. Sherilyn's one of them.
I appreciate Christmas, and it's, I appreciated it as a kid. I appreciated it as a parent when my kids were little. I appreciate that, we need to support local businesses as we celebrate Christmas.
Right.
I
Having a hard time.
every year. I mean, it's like, and I don't know if this year's. I don't know that this year feels any different than any other year. I would say that the staffs at the 3 properties where we have newsrooms, that the sense, and a lot of folks have kids, younger kids.
Yeah.
There's just I think it's COVID fatigue. I think everyone's a little depressed. I think that I mean, I don't know if it was the on again off again fall weather that we had.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm having a hard time.
Now, don't say everyone, because then you're going to come under fire because you're saying
I
that
can
everyone is depressed.
No.
Because it's not everyone.
Sorry, I didn't mean to paint. I didn't mean to paint with such a broad
You're
brush.
judging everyone now. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly what you're saying.
And for whatever reason, I just can't. Yeah, I mean, the news. So here's the thing, and you and I talked a little bit about this before. I actually don't watch the news, and I don't listen to the news
It's
all the
fascinating.
time.
It's fascinating.
Because I just have to, when I'm on during the day and into the night, and and I'm monitoring everything, I have to kind of turn it off. Last night we had a situation where the Associated Press, which is the national syndicate,
We're going to talk about that.
they actually had a problem of being able to keep their feed live, and so news agencies, newspapers, and you name it, all
Yes.
across the country,
Yes.
didn't have access to news.
This started mid-morning, I think, on the East Coast yesterday.
It was very prohibitive, and it's hard to put out a timely newspaper when the news isn't coming in.
Sure. And this is Amazon's cloud service network that suffered this.
No. This is the Associated Press.
Well, but so Amazon's cloud service network suffered this major outage.
Right, and you couldn't track anything.
And that disrupted access to remote computing services.
Jeff Bezos does not own the Times Argus yet.
No, he doesn't. But it interfered with many governments, universities, even Delta Airlines.
Yeah.
And the Associated Press was one of them.
I did not know that was the cause. I knew that the tracking of within the. Don't you ring that bell?
Well, I was going to ring the bell
No.
because it's
You told me something I didn't know.
Yes.
I mean
that. What year is it? Well, I'm going to mark this on my calendar that I came up with something that you didn't know about.
it's 1947.
Okay. They mitigated the underlying problem. They made a big announcement, and they said, thanks for letting us know about it. And they apparently fixed it, but there's still some snafus going on. Some
Okay.
residual crap.
Did it affect you personally?
No.
It affected me personally.
I'm sure it did.
Because it was annoying to have everybody trying to figure out what was going on and having to, again, try and put out a newspaper that was, needed some news in it.
Right.
But because that's a steady stream. And
yes.
If you can't pull from the stream,
right,
can't fish from the stream.
Yes.
So that was problematic for us. But I'm not one of those people I get up in the morning and just turn on the TV, or I actually don't. Mm-hmm. My TV isn't connected to anything. Mm-hmm. It's just a TV that I stream. I do like Netflix and stuff. I don't turn on the TV and just sit there and watch it for, an hour with my coffee. I can't do it.
I unplug too. It really mostly because I'm forced to. I got a little girl at home who's 7 years old, and she could give a crap about what's going on in the news. And I think if I were a bachelor, I would probably go home and sit and watch some news at night and get into more depth on things. But yeah, I'm unplugged too, man, and I think it serves us well because we need to do that.
Yeah,
we're all fatigued with all of the shit that's coming down the pipe. Well, in the news.
So let's talk about a little bit of that. I want to before you get all excited. I want to talk.
I'm all worked up.
I know you are. I want to talk about the mask mandates that the towns are considering.
Well, it's in the Times Argus this morning that Waterbury is joining Barre in refusing the mandate.
Yeah, they did. They took the same tack that Barre did, that they wouldn't even entertain the motion. Mm-hmm. And raise the question of why are we kind of even having to discuss this?
Yeah.
We have a handful of communities actually this week that are considering it. Montpelier will be talking about it this evening. But Rutland took it up on, not that Rutland's in central Vermont, but I'm monitoring this from all of our properties because it actually affects potentially advertising and who's frequenting stores and who is feeling, we're getting, it's now, well, so let me back up. As communities consider this, people get pissed off in their respective communities with the people saying yay or nay, right?
Yeah.
And because of the governor's cowardice in not being able to lead us through this, and then kicking it down the road
Mr. Pappas,
to the legislature, and then letting them kick it down to municipalities. What we're seeing is a lot of infighting in towns and cities across the state, pretty unnecessarily, in my mind.
Yeah.
And so as that's happening, people are reaching out to the paper and saying, I don't think that this particular business should be allowed to advertise in your paper because they either do require masks or they don't require masks.
God.
And you know what that does? That creates targeting. That creates, and no, we're not going to do that. We're going to leave this as we have all along up to individuals and consumers to decide for themselves how they want to do this. Now, again, with the governor not making the decision, and with the legislature really not making the decision, we're just doing what we've been doing for the last 19 months.
Yes. I totally agree. All right, we're having some issues here with our frame rate. Do you know what a frame rate is?
No, I don't.
It's
is it something that makes us more entertaining?
No, I think we don't need that. I think this is more related to our internet connection, and it could be, I don't know whose fault it is, but we could blame it on
Jeff Bezos.
Should we?
Sure.
All right. I don't know if this is related
this is why you should not support Amazon. You should not order from Amazon. You should support your local businesses because it affects the frame rate on Aired Out.
There we go.
If you shop locally, if you do all of your Christmas holiday shopping locally, this would not be a problem. Your frame rate would be fine, and we would be able to do what we're doing.
So what you're saying is get the hell offline ordering your shit right now.
Subscribe to the
Because
Times
you're
Argus.
pulling
Go
too
and
much bandwidth.
Exactly. You're hurting the community. So shop local, subscribe local.
Right.
Whatever community you live in, make sure you're subscribing to your local newspaper so that you know what's going on. You can read about not just the news that affects local people, but you get to be introduced to people you don't know and find out things you didn't necessarily know about.
Right.
Like the mask mandate.
This past weekend, we went out. Mother and I got in the sleigh. Lily got the hot cocoa, the peppermint hot cocoa, and all that.
You brought the
shit.
dog, too. I saw
Brought the dog.
I saw that.
We went and got the Christmas tree, and we had a conversation in the car on the way there about deciduous versus coniferous. And
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think you had a conversation about coniferous and you couldn't remember the other one because I received a text from you saying, "What's the other one?" So I think your poor bride, I think she got duped into you thinking that you're smarter than you are, and I think I answered a question. I'm like the trivia cheat that you have, you know.
I can't get anything by you, pal. You just aired that out.
I did.
That I texted you saying, "What's the other one?" And you wrote back and said, "Deciduous." And then Sherilyn, of course, I said to her, I said,
Deciduous.
I got it. It's deciduous.
And she said, "Let me see your phone."
No, but she's like, "What's deciduous?" And I'm like, "I'll let you know on Wednesday."
It's
Coniferous is the cone.
It's trees that have needles and cones, and deciduous trees have leaves.
Leaves. Coniferous has the cone.
They're trees that typically have needles and have
Cones.
They reproduce with cones. Yes, like a pine tree or a spruce tree,
Right.
Or a Christmas tree. Most Christmas trees are
Most
coniferous.
Coniferous.
Because you wouldn't want to decorate an elm tree in your house. That would be weird.
But I think this is very true. It would be weird. I think I was telling you that I climbed Camel's Hump and I came into the coniferous trees, and you said no, that they're deciduous trees.
No, actually, it was the other way around.
Was it the other way around?
Yeah, because there aren't deciduous trees above tree line. They're coniferous trees. Yeah, I think it had to do with the foliage photos that you had.
Oh, yes.
And it was the beautiful foliage photos, and you said, "Look at these beautiful conifers."
Raylene, look at what we got going on here. So we have someone asking if you're commando.
What does
today.
that mean?
If you're commando, if you're not wearing
That
any,
seems awkward.
are you wearing any underwear?
Yeah,
You are.
as far as I know.
Prove it. Prove it.
Why?
Well, because we were talking about folks that go commando yesterday, and that
What the hell's happening?
I think there was some implication that certain folks in the media may go commando every now and then. And that it's okay. Raylene and I were talking about this. Basically, that it's okay if...
Who did you pay to come up to the window?
I didn't pay anyone. I have no idea who that is. Raylene, do you know who that is?
I do not.
You don't either? Yeah. And I said, I think I implied, I'm creating a rumor about you, that at times you may come to the office commando.
Wow, we are
Be
off
it that
the rails.
Be it that you're too busy to do your own laundry and you
What?
haven't had time.
I have a gun right here. I loaded it for you.
Yeah, that gun's loaded if you want to shoot me.
Oh,
right there.
If only. No, I'm
And
good, but I'm also not going to drop trow either.
My point is that we all need to get along. And if you know folks that like to go commando, there's nothing wrong with that. Just because you wear underwear doesn't mean that you should dislike people who don't like to wear underwear.
Are we talking about mask mandates or are we talking about something else?
What's the editorial about today? It's
Today's editorial.
Going to shoot me. Ow!
Today's editorial. Thank you, Raylene.
You're welcome.
Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
And this is huge. This is
the Supreme Court decision.
Oh my God, it's all over the news. It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Well, I mean, so what I did was I took a look at what some legal experts are saying about how this is going, how the revisiting this case and the kind of the two cases. There was Roe, and then there was a subsequent case that reaffirmed Roe versus Wade. That having the Supreme Court talking about this with a conservative leaning court as it is right now could have implications for other issues, including LGBTQ issues down the road, with racial justice issues, things of that nature that are kind of, being debated right now as part of the national fabric of the country. And, I kind of basically said, let the experts play it out. I didn't really take a side one way or the other, but I thought it was worth people having the perspective of understanding that it could, this has much broader implications for other issues because Roe v. Wade is so political and such a third rail of a topic that as soon as anybody, whether it's the Supreme Court or anybody, kind of gets involved with it, it immediately kind of electrifies all of the other issues that a particular platform may support.
Yeah.
And that again, the implications just become very broad and very divisive. And, unfortunately, the one thing that we have in abundance in this country right now is divisiveness.
Yes.
And we've mastered that, and we seem to reinvent it almost every week.
Do you ever think that the timing of this is interesting? Is it purely coincidental that we have? Let's be honest.
No,
everybody and their brother is talking about COVID right now, which is taking the precedence with conversations that people are having. It's in the media and it's all over.
Yeah, at the at-home conversations, people are talking about COVID because they're concerned. They're concerned about going into the holidays. They're concerned about the surge we're having right now coming off of Thanksgiving, which we all kind of anticipated was going to happen. And,
yes.
For anybody to say, gee, I thought we had resolved this.
Yeah. Wrongo dongo.
But at the national level, I mean, you have to answer your question, of course it's not coincidence. It's all orchestrated to make sure that certain things are unfolding at certain times.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think about all of the different things that have happened just here in Vermont. Most recently, Pat Leahy's decision not to seek a 9th term as the dean of the Senate. And that was well timed. I mean, he made that decision some time ago.
Yeah.
But the timing of it was such that then Peter Welch could announce that he was going to go for Pat's seat, and then that Molly Gray got a whole news cycle out of it saying that she's going to run for Peter's seat. And, all of those things are orchestrated. And we see it all the time because we pay attention to those patterns. We know how those things are going to play out.
Yeah.
So for example, if you have really bad news, one of the things you do is you release it at 5:00 on a Friday afternoon, because then you can't reach anybody to verify it, and it is out there.
Yes.
But it doesn't get thrown
as much traction
for a whole weekend.
Yes.
And then by Monday,
it's diluted.
It's already on to something else. They refer to it as taking out the trash day. So if you have a big announcement, you typically want to make it a bad news. You want to roll it out at 5 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. on a Friday.
Interesting.
Yeah, especially you'll see state agencies do that a lot. It'll be around 4:15, 4:20. The release will go out, and then all of a sudden, nope, nobody's available to talk. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
So it only gets a brief rather than a story.
So that's so fascinating.
But there are patterns like that in the news all the time, and national debates are centered around critical timing. The budget debate that's happening in Barre right now,
Right.
is timed around the hearing. Well, the at least the council process, not the public hearing process, but they do it around the holidays because people aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
They don't want to necessarily go and tune into a meeting or go to a meeting and see what's going on. They do a coin drop on the street and feel good about the council, and then the council goes in and makes some heady decisions about the budget, and everyone goes,
And it might be that that plenty are paying attention, but we just have many other distractions and other things going on in our personal lives that are in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, people who are good at marketing and public relations,
They know this.
they know how to make sure that you spoon feed the media, you create the distractions, and then you either deny or just kind of pivot from it all the time. And we see it all the time, especially here in central Vermont, because lawmakers, that's one of the things they learn is how to get the camera in front of you, how to not say anything, and then how to spin it.
Yes. One of the things that I've been saving because I wanted to ask you about when I had you on next, which is today, right now, is this video that emerged on social media that showed the CEO of Better.com, which is a digital mortgage company, firing 900 employees, telling them in a Zoom call that they've been terminated. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unreal, man. And this company, which has offices in 3 different states, just received a $750 million cash infusion. The firm right now
from COVID. I mean, they were COVID dollars. We've had
this firm is worth $7 billion.
Yeah. So the
wow.
COVID money is something that we in the media are going to have to keep our finger on that pulse throughout, because this money that's coming in, is being distributed, and there are certain guidelines with which communities and the state can use that money, and that the criteria is pretty strict. It'll be interesting. I mean, you practically have to create another department of the state to be able to monitor how all of these projects are getting done and how that money's being spent.
Yep.
But there early on, there was the PPP money, but then there were a lot of loans that were, it wasn't ARPA money back then. It was just COVID money that was pumped into the state. And there were businesses in Vermont, including businesses here in central Vermont, that took money and then closed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Took big money.
Huge. Yes.
And then closed.
Yep.
And, and then you read about these people who, like the guy in wherever it was, Florida, I guess, who got his COVID money and bought a Lamborghini.
Yeah. I was just going to say sports cars.
Yeah.
You're starting to see. I know.
But now you can't buy sports cars because there aren't enough components for it.
God. One of the things I was going to talk with you about is probably one of the most important things that's in the paper today, right now. Tell me about this here, because this is cool as hell.
Yeah, so every day we publish a bunch of letters in the newspaper, individual letters, and usually they're smashed together into words and sentences.
Yeah.
And we string them together, and we hope that people will take that information and do good with it. Every once in a while, we separate the letters and jumble them into rows of incomprehensible mess.
Yes.
And we create a contest in which we ask people to find words in a jumble mess and then fill out the form and win a prize. And we do it at Thanksgiving, and we do it at for the holidays, and we do it, I think, 4 or 5 times a year, and we get a tremendous response. I think the last it was the turkey scramble that we did before Thanksgiving. JD, you wouldn't believe it. You would not believe how many people mail in or drop off the turkey scramble every time. It is unbelievable. And we do a coloring contest in our reader we do one a month. Mm-hmm. We get a tremendous response from those.
Central Vermont Reader, CV Reader.
Yep. The Central Vermont Reader. We do one in the Waterbury Reader as well. And it's a great way to do for community engagement. It gives people something to do. It's allows people to oftentimes we highlight businesses in the area in the puzzle itself.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, I mean, it's again, community building is as much about engagement as it is about informing.
It is. It is something that you should play and have fun with maybe even without the notion that you may or may not win. Just have fun. Just enjoy it. Just do it.
Well, I mean, how many things are there in your life where you can honestly, for the price of a cup of coffee, less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can find out what's going on in the community. You can find out,
Sure.
local, state, national news, local sports, comics, puzzles, advertising from local businesses. These are people who are investing in the community by investing in the paper because they know that these are guaranteed eyeballs. People are paying to subscribe to the paper. They're paying to read it.
Yeah.
And that's huge. I mean,
John Anderson just wrote in saying he's been a subscriber for 10 years.
Thank you, John.
Oh, yeah, man. Norwich tied it up last night, 2-2. Big story in the sports page.
Yeah. Jamie Bigham actually has a really interesting long-form story on the paper about this young woman from Waterbury who it may be one of Vermont's next elite running athletes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
Ava Thurston, and it's on the top of the sports page. You folded it over like it was nothing.
I'm shuffling stuff around this morning.
Okay, well,
that's a really cool story.
Yeah, I mean, we've had Vermont tends to produce some really strong, at least runners and skiers.
Yeah,
and we've had. I can't remember Elle's last name, but she was on the Olympic trials and for distance running and 1,500 meters back in the Olympics, and it was really exciting.
Yeah. One of the what else? I want to make sure that we're hitting everything here. I know that the intensive care units in Vermont, yesterday. A record 31 patients being treated in intensive care because of the coronavirus, the vast majority unvaccinated. We've got a total 90 people in Vermont hospitals yesterday being treated for coronavirus. 90.
The governor's press conference yesterday, I thought it was interesting that they spent so much time talking about not just the work that is being done in Vermont hospitals, but they were trying to address the nursing and healthcare shortage and the worker shortage, but also they were really playing up the appreciation for they appreciate the work that's being done,
right?
And they really clearly wanted the media to be appreciating as well.
Yes, as we should.
As we should, but these poor people have to be exhausted, because supposedly there's about 5,000 nursing positions in the state of Vermont, and 900 of them are vacant right now.
Yeah.
900.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I heard a report out of the UVM network, out of Burlington and Fanny Allen and that whole area, just how tapped out the nurses and the doctors are there. They are so overwhelmed. And man, these are diehards. I mean, they're hanging on. This is not a career that is about money, because if it were, I think they would have
gone into journalism.
Yes, true, where the real big money is. These are people that are so invested in their hearts, in their souls. It's who they are. Mm-hmm. They have to take care of others. It's their purpose in life. It's not about the paycheck. The amount of hours that they're putting in, they're so invested in caring for others. It is absolutely remarkable. Just here in this little tiny state in New England, to hear the stories that I'm hearing coming out of not only nursing homes but hospitals is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
They're working on Christmas. They're working on Christmas Eve. For many of these people, there was no Thanksgiving.
Right.
There's not going to be a Christmas.
Right. And that's true for a lot of the frontline workers who are just doing this hard work that has to be done to kind of keep society open and going. And, if we're going to give nods out to healthcare professionals, we should give out nods to the folks who are doing mental health work right now, because we're seeing the uptick in violent crime that we're seeing in Vermont. The number of road rage and domestic assault and sex assault and simple assault cases is astounding.
It is.
And, we've had some absolute tragedies here in central Vermont with, high-profile suicides.
Yeah.
A high-profile suicide and, a murder-suicide.
I know.
I mean, it was just
Elmore,
in Elmore.
Right? Yeah.
And both of those people in that murder-suicide were well-known in the community. Yeah. And, it has had a ripple effect and touched a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And, again, it kind of all is part of this layering of how hard this is. And for whatever reason, this time of year, because it gets darker earlier and we have to be kind of forced inside, and sometimes we're uncomfortable and all that. It feels more shrill or something.
Yeah. I said, I've already said this a couple times in the podcast, but and I hate to sound like a broken record, but when we're in the car, when I'm at home, and Sherilyn's listening to all her Christmas music, and I hear that song, it's the most wonderful time of the year. I think Andy Williams is the guy that really made that song popular for so many of us right now. And Andy apparently didn't get the memo that this is, for so many of us, this is not the most wonderful time of the year. And we've got a ton of crap going on. And, yesterday, Raylene and I were kind of struggling through the story of these two young girls who died on Interstate 93. Their dad was driving.
In Littleton, that was an awful story.
Age 7 and age 10, man, even if you're not a parent, that kind of shit gets under your skin. And it really, I was trying to tell Sherilyn a little bit of it last night. She put the hand up, tapping the brakes. I just can't go there. What I'm saying is that, there's so many people right now that are in need, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, or otherwise. If you don't have the resources to, flip something around for somebody, carve out some time in your week, in your schedule, and just do something for someone, even if it's a tiny little thing. Buy some movie passes to the Capitol Showplace Theater, or a gift certificate. It can be a stranger. It can be maybe someone you know or know of. But just do something for someone that will make them feel better. Maybe not even good, but just better than where they are. And, of course, it'll make you feel good, too. But don't make that the meaning behind giving. Do something for someone. Mm-hmm. Take the crap that's in the news and try to bring some light into somebody's life, directly, indirectly, whatever way you can.
Yeah, well, and as you point out, don't focus on yourself. Focus on others.
Yeah,
and that's, we like this time of year because giving does feel good.
Yeah, right.
But
don't make that your motivation, though.
Well, but we should be doing it all the time.
Yeah,
we should be giving all the time. We shouldn't just be giving because this is the time of year to do it, and
right.
the capitalist economy says that this is the time of year that, it's got to all come together.
Yes.
It happen all the time. And, we see too many people who are just focused on themselves, their rig, their pool,
I know.
whatever it is, how they're gonna, act, and
Right.
Come on,
And bring some laughter, bring some joy. I mean, I walked into Nelson's this morning, and I saw Bob Nelson, and I complained to him about how hideously disgusting his store frontage is. I mean, there's nothing festive about it. It's depressing when you drive by, and no.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
I'm joking. We had a good laugh about it. I mean, look at this is look behind you right now. We got the snow falling. This is New England. I feel so sad for all of the people in Florida right now who are missing the view of Nelson's Ace Hardware behind you and the snow falling. I mean, this is it. Bob knows I was kidding.
You might want to.
We shook hands. We shook hands.
Well,
we're friends.
He's also going to break your arm, given that. I think you probably ought to be giving Bob a little more love right now.
I just got a Christmas gift for Sherilyn over there this morning. There's no place that I would rather go and get something that I need than Nelson's. Bob knows that. Annette knows that.
And how beautiful is the store frontage right now?
It is. Isn't there some kind of contest with the partnership, or is that just about people's homes?
Maybe you should ask somebody from the partnership.
Well, I will.
Okay.
But if there's an award,
I think that's
Nelson's
neighborhoods.
takes it.
Okay.
I mean, is it beautiful or what? I mean, look at it. My God, it's beautiful.
It is. I would not. I mean, I'm willing to call the governor a coward. I am not willing to say that Bob Nelson's window frontage is at all questionable ever.
Yeah. Sherilyn's reminding me right now to go over there and get the light bulb, and I'll tell her right now.
Sherilyn, that is your Christmas present. Merry Christmas.
I'm going to tell her and you and everyone right now. I did. I went over there. The bulb's on order. We'll get it Monday. It's a special bulb. By the way, we have some new followers. Mike Bova is one of them, who just wrote in saying that Bob Nelson is sponsoring their comedy tour that they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
The Big and Tall comedy tour at the American Legion Friday night, 8 o'clock. Mike Bova is
Ladder one, and we will be
Ladder One also.
giving the tickets away.
And
Ladder one.
so Valerie over at Ladder One snatched up, and Raylene, shoot me if I'm wrong here, snatched up
Please, Raylene. Please be wrong.
a whole bunch of tickets, and we're going to be giving them away for that. So Bova ought to know that. But yeah, Bob Nelson kicks ass, and talk about somebody that supports our community. I got to get him back in here. He's been on the podcast,
I know. How much did you have to pay him?
I didn't have to pay him anything.
Really?
No. You're looking for staff members over at the Times Argus, right?
I am.
I'm asking. Are you?
I'm looking at people to run the press. We're still in crisis of trying to figure out where we're going to be printing from week to week.
Okay.
But no, I think I'm fully staffed. We are looking for people to deliver the paper.
You are?
No,
Okay.
absolutely. We're always looking for folks to do that. That's good money. I mean, that's
Of course it is.
it's anywhere from it's up to like $1,000 a month that you can make doing that.
Got to get up early.
Well, yeah, we come out early.
Yeah. You should talk with Raylene about that, because she gets up at like
I don't think Raylene wants to deliver the paper and then have to come in here and babysit you.
She's up anyway. Might as well deliver the paper.
Well, she's probably having to,
Will the
at least one of you is reading the paper, so that's good.
Raylene told me that she heard that the Times Argus was giving their employees a certificate to the Jelly of the Month Club. Any truth to that? See, this is me trying to entice her to shoot me with the Nerf gun. Anyway,
It's not Jelly of the Month.
what is it?
It's Whiskey of the Month.
The whiskey of the month.
I mean, we are journalists after all. What do you think the bottom drawer of every journalist at their desk? Bottom left-hand drawer.
Sherilyn's going to cringe. She didn't want me to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you. We had a discussion on our way to get the tree about artificial trees.
Yeah.
And I warned her. I said, look, I'm going to talk to Pappas about this. She said, please don't. But I'm going to. We saw the artificial trees for sale. And the average ceiling height, okay, because we get the 30-foot tree, and then we cut it down so that it fits in the house. But you got to go with the big, you got to, when you see it, it sings to you, it calls to you, like Clark Griswold. You know what I'm saying?
I know where you're going.
So
you should probably invest in an artificial tree because
the average ceiling height in someone's house is what? Do you know?
8 feet.
Rongo dongo, pal. It's I'll Google
the
it.
average.
We'll Google it. I'll bet you a cup of coffee over it. 7 feet. 7. I'm going with 7. You're going with 8.
I mean, for someone who's 3 foot tall, it looks like 7 or 8 feet.
Do you need to go there?
Yeah, for someone who's 3 feet tall, 7 or 8 feet looks about the same.
What I'm saying, and I explained to her, I said Raylene's coming over. The average Christmas tree, artificial Christmas tree, is 7 feet or even less, maybe 6.5. So you got room for the star. Okay.
Yeah.
So why would you go to whose ceiling is 8 foot?
That's the average ceiling height.
Do you know that the average is 8 feet? Because do you have stats on this?
I'm going to get them.
You can get them. Post them up in the comments there, mother. Ow! But why would you get a 13-foot tree if you know that your ceiling is 7 feet tall?
Right. Yeah.
So then I asked her, and I'm going to ask you, I'm going to see how intelligent you are. Why are artificial Christmas trees, why are they that length? Other than your ceiling height. And she said, so that you can fit it in your car.
An artificial tree?
Yeah.
Well, artificial trees come in sections.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, artificial trees can be disassembled.
In 6 feet. 6 feet is divisible by 2.
Lots of things.
Somebody took my mic
Oh.
this morning.
Most U.S. homes built in the last few decades have ceilings at least this high, if not higher. The current standard ceiling rooms on the first floors of a typical new home is 9 feet. For rooms on second and higher floors, 8 feet is the standard.
Huh. It's beginning to look a lot like JD's wrong.
You have these artificial trees. They disassemble in a box that's usually 2 feet, and you got 3 sections in there.
We already figured this part out.
That's the reason why.
Okay, well, now you're just rubbing your nose in it, so stop it.
Yeah. It's not about whether you can fit it in your car. It's, okay. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, things are going to get violent here in the studio, verbally abusive. There will be name calling.
I'm coming back tomorrow morning?
No, it's Paul Brody's going to be in here, and we're going to talk about, we're not going to talk. We're going to fight about Christmas music and Christmas movies.
Really?
And it's going to be vicious. I mean...
Well, we haven't talked about really news today. Do you want to ask me what my favorite Christmas movie is?
Yes. What is your favorite Christmas movie? Yes.
It depends. Are we talking about Christmas or movies in which Christmas is set? Because if it's movies in which Christmas is set...
This is critical.
Die Hard.
Okay. I was just going to ask you about Die Hard. I was literally...
Is the best movie in which Christmas is set.
Set. S-E-T.
Yeah. As in opposed to what?
So is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No.
Thank you.
It is a movie set at Christmas time.
What about Home Alone?
Is not a Christmas movie.
What about so far?
Although
I
do love Home Alone.
We're on the same page.
Okay.
What about It's a Wonderful Life?
Is one of the most strangest, most depressing, awful,
What?
tormented movies that's set at Christmas that there ever could be. It's a Wonderful Life is a very depressing movie. He's jumping off a bridge. He's going to kill himself.
Clarence saved him, bro.
Uh-huh.
Shit got turned around. He saw the bigger picture, the message, the takeaway in that.
But that could have been that whole movie could have been done on the 4th of July. It had nothing to do with the fact that it was at Christmas. I mean, it's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie. When it came out in 1940, blah, 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 whatever it was, it didn't come out at Christmas time. It came out in the summer. And it should never be colorized.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
Jimmy Stewart shouldn't look that way.
I remember being a little kid and watching that and just I was like 10, and I feel like I just wanted to kick the shit out of Old Man Potter.
Well, yeah.
I hated that bastard.
That's the point. It's supposed to teach you about all of these things about morality and
right.
But
at the end, when everyone is singing and
but that's okay. So
every time the bell rings, an angel gets its. Tell me you don't cry. Tell me you don't cry.
It's a 3-hour movie that's a setup for the final 2 minutes.
You're right. I agree with you.
When Harry Bailey comes in, Harry Bailey.
You're right.
And George is like,
yes.
Yeah, to my big brother George, the richest man in town. Yes. That's the part that gets you.
Yes, it is.
It's like.
Do you cry?
Well,
air it out, Pappas. Yes or no? Do you cry?
I cry because it's a really long, depressing movie, and I'm usually crying because I'm glad it's over, and that is a touching moment.
Mm. Yes. What about Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase?
That is a Christmas movie, by the way.
Thank you. Because every second of it is about Christmas.
Makes fun of Christmas.
Yes. What is your favorite? It's a very, very, very serious decision here.
I mean, honestly, I really love Elf.
You do?
Mm-hmm. I think Elf is hilarious, and I think it's a good message. And
yes, it is. Yeah, this weekend, Paramount, and is it the Paramount? Both theaters, FGB theaters, are playing free movies.
Nice.
And Elf is one of them that's free.
I also
would you like to go with me?
No,
I'll sit next to you.
Nope. I also have a great appreciation for Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, yeah, big time.
The Natalie Wood version.
Yes. There's no other version, really. Let's just say that.
Well, there is, but
no, there isn't. Yeah, you're right. That's right there at the top, man.
And it's very understated. People don't celebrate that one as much, but the whole Gimbels and Macy's thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty. If I lived in New York, I would be like, I got to watch Miracle on 34th Street because What
will Pappas be doing on Christmas Eve? Will he be sipping on the Baileys and the Christmas lights going and watching Elf and sitting there at Commando? What will you be doing on Christmas Eve?
I actually do not know. I don't have a plan as such, so I will not be visiting family, and I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet.
All right.
What will you be doing?
What I just said. We'll be doing Baileys. We'll have It's a Wonderful Life playing, or some good Christmas music, like the London Philharmonic or Andy Williams, Perry Como. We had a big fight about that yesterday. I don't know if you saw that on the podcast, but G was in here. We were screaming at each other about Mannheim. No, not Mannheim Steamroller. The other one, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Oh, tomorrow, I'm telling you, you got to see the podcast tomorrow. With Paul Brody.
I'll be working.
All right. Thanks for coming in here.
Yeah. This was 45 minutes I will never get back.
In your whole life.
I know.
let's say thanks to our new followers, and we just picked up 3 more. Josh Hardy, Pierce Brock, and Carl Parton, which I thought was already a follower, but apparently he wasn't. And
Carl Parton and CV Sports have a partnership
Yes,
with
they
the
do.
Times Argus, and we post highlighted games from CV Sports. Carl does great work.
I don't know if there's anyone who's more dialed into local sports than Carl Parton.
Come on now.
I don't. I think he's the best.
Jamie Bigham of the Times Argus.
Along with Jamie.
Yeah.
Other than the two of them, I don't know.
I would say Jamie is more dialed in than Carl, but that's because I have to.
Yeah. We have right now, this is stunning to me. We have 2,961 followers, and we've got right around between 150 and 200 people watching right this second. 288 people watching right now, Mr. Pappas. This is really cool. And Raylene's got a contest going. What's the deal now? Whoever is the 3,000th follower is going to be winning some prizes. And she's putting it all together: hats and underwear and all kinds of stuff that has our logo on it. Which is really cool. So thank you, Raylene, for setting that up. So if you're not a follower, you ought to be. And we're close, 2,961, which is it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. We're almost at 3,000.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate everybody who's tuned in. I'm sorry for today's show. I had nothing to do with the quality of this show.
I think you need your own disclaimer.
I feel like I should be blurred out. Like I should be pixelated for most of it, and my voice should be changed.
The black strip across your eyes.
Censored.
Yeah. Steve Pappas from the Times Argus, thanks for coming in, buddy.
Hey, thanks, and thanks again for everybody for watching. I would urge you, as we go into the holiday season, subscribe to the newspaper. It makes a great gift.
Yeah,
and especially for kids off to college or snowbirds in other parts of the country.
Absolutely.
And it literally is a gift that keeps on giving.
TimesArgus.com really is the easiest way.
Or, give us a call at customer service at 802-479-0191.
Melody
will take care of you.
Yeah. Great. What's her last name again?
I'm not telling you.
Great lady, though. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Thank you.
I always look forward to it. We'll catch you again next week if you're willing to show up.
Well, if you keep flinging those 20s at me, I'll show up.
All right. Thanks to our presenting sponsors of the Aired Out podcast, seen and heard live on Facebook where you are right now, from 185 North Main Street in Barre. Yeah, the home of Retirement Vermont, retirementvt.com, one of our presenting sponsors, of course, directly across the street from the ever so beautiful Nelson's Ace Hardware. Don't get in a car accident. If you're driving by at night and you want to take a picture of the storefront of Nelson's, be careful. Pull over. Take care of yourself. Green Mountain Mulch is one of our presenting sponsors. Fecto Homes, Salvador and Babbitt. You see the list right here in front of you. Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce. Kevin's going to be in here real soon talking about Elphis. Barre Area Development, Cody Morrison, every single Monday morning at 9 o'clock. He's sitting right here talking about, the Granite City and Barrytown. FGB Theaters, free movies showing. Did I say free? Did I drop the F word? I did. Free movies this weekend. Elf and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Grinch, and there's one other I can't remember, but they're playing at both the Capitol Showplace Theater and the Paramount right here in Barre. Get the kids out of the house. Go catch a free movie. And as you can see on our promotion that we've been dropping on the Facebook page, bring something for the food shelf for the Vermont Food Bank too. And if you do, you bring a can, you might end up with some free popcorn. So enjoy it this weekend. Gusto's, also one of our newer presenting sponsors who does so much for our community. The endless list. And we're always talking about them on our page. CW Creative, Vermont Custom Woodworking, ASB Financial. These are all presenting sponsors. The Barre Montpelier Times Argus, Donnybrook Fight Promotion. Rex is coming in just a little bit around high noon today, and he's going to be throwing gas in the fire. We always love having him on. Donnybrook Fight Promotion, Battle in Barre 6, February 19th at the Barre Auditorium. We're going to be talking about that. Ticket sales and all that fun. Never know what's going to go into the microphones when Rex is in here. Wood Doodles. What a show yesterday with G from Wood Doodles. Having plenty of laughs. Love these guys. Amazing, amazing products. wooddoodles.com. And, of course, follow them on Facebook, too. Wright Electric, Gauthier's Quality Grounds and Maintenance, Preston's Kia. Lily and I were there last night at Preston's Kia, doing all of the arts and crafts that they have set up right there in the lobby, in the showroom, making cards, and got the glue going and the crayons and the markers and everything, making ornaments and cards for people in area nursing homes. That's what Preston's Kia is doing. So if you're driving by, bring your kid in there, let them get creative and have some fun and make a card or an ornament for some older folks to bring some light into their lives. Thank you, Preston's Kia, for your presenting sponsorship and for doing so many great things for our community. My gosh, did you see what they did with the Thanksgiving meals? Unreal. Granite City MMA, of course, we're going to be talking about them at noon today, as well as Barcelona Construction with Rex at noon today. We'll see you real soon. Have a great day, everybody.